Today is September 5th, 2020. I just recently turned 54. And what I wanted to do was just sum up what's been happening with my life. Because obviously I'm a kind of victim of major persecution, bullying, hostility, hacking. There's also some strange house presence. The word I would use is house occurrences. There's a lot of house occurrences that can range from very strange pungent smells that we cannot sort of trace back to a viable source, to hacking of all the devices, all the technology in the house, the TV, the wash machine, everything you can think of. So I just wanted to do, sort of a birthday summary. Reaching another year here, which is not a great thing when you're in your 50s. But I want to say it's astounding. It's appalling. I did not get a single call from anyone in my family. This is the Cancelliere family. They really pride themselves on their success and their status. Now, I just turned 54. They choose to do this to me when I'm getting old. Like this is my sisters have chosen to do this to me when I'm getting old. So I didn't get a call from a sister or anybody or my two brothers. Nobody. And the reason is, like, I'm not talking to them either. I am not calling them or talking to them. And the reason is because they refuse to acknowledge this very bizarre, unnatural, abnormal pain presentation that hit me, that started to strike in 2016. This was after me and my young children, very young children, started to experience very, very overwhelming hostility and bullying at our local schools, community centers, and basically everywhere we went. So you got to watch all my videos. I can't go into detail about that right now. So they refused, not only do they refuse to acknowledge it, it used to be they actually turned it against me. So it got really scary. And I'll never forget the feeling of incredible fear when your own family, when you're experiencing something and you're really trying to be honest and you're explaining the symptoms. Like Dr. Packy at Mackenzie Health, he doesn't give a shit about me, but I would expect my family, my sisters particularly, to care. And when years ago, when I started telling them about, what was happening and communicating my symptoms, they would actually turn it against me. And one of my sisters was saying, you need help. So here I am, just being honest about my symptoms and the presentation being extremely abnormal. And then they would turn it around and say, you know what, there's something wrong with your head. They kept saying you need to see a psychiatrist. So it's really, really, it's inhumane. It's abhorrent, and it's actually sacrilegious. It's evil. Like, I can't think of any other word. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick update. Nobody, once again, and now I've reached an older age, a year older, and no call from my family. My mother's sitting in the hospital. She can't walk. She can't talk. I believe that the stress of all of this caused her to have an additional stroke and to fall. That's what I believe. I think they caused it, but they would argue to the death about that. So, she's sitting there, they're acting like, it doesn't matter whether they've seen me or talked to me. They haven't seen or talked to me since, for years actually, and my sisters too. And so my mother's sitting there. I feel so sorry for her. She's lying in a bed, she can't walk or talk, and they're just like acting like everything's absolutely normal. But the reason it's not normal is because everything I described that was started to happen has completely ruined my life. I can't function anymore. It's because bad things are happening to me and they won't stop happening to me. I've tried everything I can. Again, I have to be very careful because you can get another Dr. Packy at another hospital. This is actually his name. I'm not, whatever. Oh, oh, and my son is actually, he manifests a lot of um, sort of subliminal messaging. My son, he started to do this a few years back. He everything that happens to me, even though I don't talk to him about it, and there's no reason for him to know intimately the details. He doesn't know what I write in my diary. He will manifest, like for example, the weight gain. I had this incredible weight gain of 30 pounds that completely altered my body permanently. And I'm still not used to it because I've never seen, like my arms, for example, I can't, when I look at my arms, I'm like, oh my God, are those my arms? I'm not used to it at all. Like for 50 years, I was always I was always thin. That was always my profile. And then all of a sudden, within a month, I gained a very significant amount of weight. Then there's been, and then again, I don't want to go into detail. You have to watch my other videos. But then there was all this subliminal messaging about, like when Demon Seed was on TV every day for like months. Rosemary's Baby. There's all this subliminal messaging about pregnancy and evil baby and this and that. So, and it continued. And my son started to act that out. He started to act it out. So basically I wanted to say, like, it's pathetic. I received absolutely no calls from my sisters, from my family on for my birthday, and I can't talk to them because they won't acknowledge this very horrible situation, this persecution, this very abnormal pain presentation. Now the pain presentation has to do with smoking, so it's almost like I feel like they have a gun to my head saying, if you don't quit smoking, we're not going to talk to you, and we're not going to listen to anything you say, because the pains come right before I smoke. They will come in specific rooms. Sometimes, well, they come a lot at night, like when I'm sitting and reading. It's like somebody doesn't want me to read, plus my books were all ripped. I get sharp pains in my knees and my ankles, so I can't read. My right eye gets really blurry. So, it comes at that's not the only presentation, but overwhelmingly it's pre-smoking pains, pre-smoking. So it's right before I smoke, I get these pains that they have lessened. They started out to be excruciating, um, but it all has to do with this smoking thing. And then that weight gain of 30 pounds, it makes me feel like I'm pregnant, and it makes me, I look like I'm pregnant, for me anyway. So I'm just going to make sure I haven't missed any details. There's a lovely view of, yeah, so like I asked my brother, can you help me? Can you help me and get me a lawyer? Because I know he works with a lot of lawyers, but he refused. And I was badly treated by a doctor, and he said, oh well, he must have seen something. He must have seen something in you. This guy pushed my mother. He pushed me. He locked the door on us in the room. So I had to pretend that I was having stomach cramps to leave the room because I got really scared when he locked the door. Mackenzie Health has done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I contacted them in April, and they still have yet to get back to me. She's saying she's really busy, really extremely. She said, I have to contact the records department. It takes you 6 months just to contact the records department? Like, how much of COVID-19 can you use as an excuse? So anyway, what I want to do is, oh, by the way, I just wanted to say, like, the fact that they haven't seen or talked to me for so long, they don't even make inquiries. Like, am I okay? Should we ask her? Is she still getting, like, it's almost like they know something. There's a huge elephant. It's probably the biggest elephant you have ever imagined in your entire life. I think it's going to hit the Guinness World Record, this elephant in the room. And my sisters are being extremely callous and cruel, and they like that elephant for some reason. They don't want to make any inquiries. They want that elephant there. I don't know why. If my mother was here, if my mother could walk and talk, she would definitely put an end to it. So I'm going to move on now I'm thinking of my birthday and how I had to go get my license. My license expired. And I'm thinking of, this kind of connects to all the bullying. This all started with a lot of bullying, hostility in our neighborhood. and also outside the neighborhood, everywhere we went. So I remember I went to get my license renewed, and I was worried about it because the last time I went, there was all kinds of strange things happening that kind of made me feel like a criminal. It made me feel like a criminal when I walked into the office. So I was really worried about it. I thought, oh no. And CIBC I deposited a personal check, and all of a sudden now I'm suspected of fraud. The personal check was from my husband. I'm constantly depositing personal checks from my husband because he's the one that works. And so my son is doing the subliminal messaging again. Okay, so anyway, basically what happened was I went to the office.
Fuck.